first time on Clubhouse, so that's pretty cool. So Andrew Yang here, really an incredible person, but welcome, Andrew. I'm going to read your bio, and then Kate will kick it off with questions. And I know you're going to give us a lot of knowledge today, and then we can open it up for audience Q&A after. But Andrew, welcome. Before I jump in, how does it feel to be your first moment on Clubhouse?
Thank you, Daniel and Kate. It feels great now that I know that everything is working correctly, so I don't have to worry about any technical disasters or things breaking down. So thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So I'll read your bio now. So Andrew Yang is the CEO of Cultos. He is also a Forbes 30 Under 30 alumni, a graduate of University of Toronto, previously worked for technology sales for Toronto-based Joist, GE Ventures under the new business creation team as an EIR. Plus, also, I've seen that you've been working in the blockchain technology space for 6 years now. So I'm excited to hear more about that and what you're doing with NFTs and reward programs. So welcome, Andrew, and Kate, over to you.
Wow, Andrew, amazing. You look very young, right? Part of Forbes 30 Under 30. What is that experience like to you?
Yeah, I mean, it was such an honor to get that. I think when did I get that? I got that in 2020. So it was a surprise, but obviously a great privilege to be given something like that. So myself and my other two Cultos co-founders who also made the list the same year, we're all super excited when we found out that we were on there.
Yes, amazing. And Andrew, how did you get into blockchain? 6 years. That's pretty awesome. So tell us about your journey. How did you get into the blockchain technology?
For sure. So I got into blockchain technology while I was at the University of Toronto. My two Cultos co-founders, we actually all met each other there during undergrad. And we were part of the Bitcoin association there. And the goal of that club was basically to install the first Bitcoin ATM in Canada. It ended up getting installed in Vancouver, but that was the goal. And just kind of ever since then, we were super into the crypto space, and eventually founded another company together called Authenticity Inc., which is a supply chain management application built on Ethereum infrastructure. And while we were at that company, we were part of an incubator called Alchemist, which is based in San Francisco. Great incubator. A lot of great companies and crypto projects came out of there. And at one point, or my CTO at least, the Nasi, he wrote some code that allowed anybody to use the free cloud credits that these incubators often give to companies to mine crypto. And so that was hugely popular. And it got to the point where the incubator almost had their partnership with AWS and Google shut off because they realized that just so many cloud credits are being used to mine crypto. So ever since undergrad, 6 years ago, and we'll continue to do so.
Wow. And can you tell us about, I'm very curious about, is NFT the future of brand loyalty?
I think it's a big part of it because NFTs are really great at aligning incentives between brands and consumers, certainly from the perspective of the brands that and sports teams we work with, like MGA, the maker of Brad's and Hello Surprise, or the San Antonio Spurs, who we did a launch with last week, which is super exciting because it acts as a way to make fans or consumers feel as if they're adequately rewarded as the value of a brand increases over time, because hopefully at least the value of their NFTs will increase as well. The other benefit is that the NFTs can act as a ticket, which gives each fan or consumer a sense of exclusivity, because as you already know, it can come with an unlockable. It can be used for something else. It's not just the digital art, which in and of itself is something that's valuable. It's the digital art that comes with a ticket to exclusive events, online or in person. It could be an exclusive Discord group as well. And it's so that sense of exclusivity and a way to kind of create a one-to-one engagement, but sort of at scale between the brand and the consumer, and create this tight community where all the incentives are aligned. I think that's what makes it the future of brand engagement.
That's awesome. And I'm seeing some use cases like movie theater using NFT as, like AMC stops. Or can you tell me some use cases that what you guys are helping developing right now for brands?
Yeah, for sure. Just to kind of give a little bit of a high-level overview of what we do, Cultos is a platform that allows any brand to bring their loyalty, community engagement, to a certain extent, influencer marketing to Web3. So any brand that joins can create their own branded cryptocurrency and use it to reward their online fans or customers who perform actions on social media that help the brand out, whether it's evangelizing the brand to their peers on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or wherever else, or just purchasing the brand's products and getting the cryptocurrency as a reward. And then the cryptocurrency can be used for various things. It can be used to just discount the brand's products. It can be used to buy their NFTs. They can build up a balance, almost like token gating, and they can be put into a VIP club as a result and get more exclusive rewards. There's many different things that a brand can do to kind of gamify the engagement and the experience between themselves and the consumer using a branded cryptocurrency or an NFT on Cultos. So some of the use cases we're seeing really fall into that bracket where, a brand either wants to encourage referrals. So for example, they'll have maybe a copy or a campaign that they want to launch on Instagram. Maybe it's their consumers taking a photo of their products and tagging them or inputting a custom hashtag, all of which we track. And for the consumers who do that, we track that, and then they are awarded the brand's cryptocurrency as a result. And they'll get more depending on how much engagement they got and how successful they were. The goal of that is to basically encourage referrals and evangelize the brand and increase engagement. The other type of use case is just really aimed at increasing the LTV of each individual consumer and increasing the sense of exclusivity and community between the consumer and the brand, like we were just talking about. So, for example, giving the consumer some of these brand tokens, as we call them, whenever they purchase a product, maybe from the brand Shopify site, they build up a balance. If their balance gets high enough, they enter a VIP club tier, and that comes with exclusive benefits, like maybe they get an NFT every time the brand does a drop. Maybe the NFTs come with a product giveaway as well, or access to an exclusive Discord group where the brand can give them the first updates and announcements whenever there's something exciting happening, and the consumers feel very valued as a result. So typically we see use cases like that where brands will take some of the things they were already doing in Web 2 when it comes to loyalty and rewards, and they're bringing it to Web 3, and it's helping them build a stronger, more engaged community as a result.
Wow. And so you said Cultus is an app. So this is what, if I'm a brand, I'll go to you and you execute that whole backend.
That's right. Speaking of backend, we're built on the Polygon layer 2 solution. So, that's a fantastic solution with low fees, but keeps everything ERC compliant for interoperability, which we think is important. But if you're a brand, there's a couple of different ways we can work together. One, we're a very API first platform, so we can integrate with what you already have. But two, we also have widgets for your most popular and mainstream e-commerce platforms as well, like WooCommerce or Shopify, which is disproportionately what we see with brands. So super simple. You just install the Cultos widget on your Shopify site, for example. There's a quick onboarding process which you can do quite rapidly. Create your branded token, name it, create a logo for it. Tokenomics is already there. And then you can tie it into your existing reward systems or campaigns to reward your customers. And then for your customers, that makes it super easy for them as well. They arrive at your Shopify site like they already would. The widget pops up. They create an account. A wallet gets created for them on the back end automatically. And then there's instructions there for how they can earn your brand's tokens. Maybe it's promoting you on social media. Maybe it's just buying your products. Whatever it is you want. Maybe it's writing a good review about you on Facebook or Google reviews. And that just kind of breaks down a lot of the friction and makes it super simple for both a brand and their consumers to get started.
Yes, and then so Andrew, Cultus will create all the smart contract then, that whole thing. And is that customized or?
It's customized to an extent. So we create the TGE contract. The tokenomics there in terms of the supply and the allocations and the bonding curves for now they're templates, but you have to pick from the templates, if that makes sense. So it's customizable to an extent. And then beyond, and then of course we also provide the custodian wallet on the back end. So all the Web3 aspects on the back end which need to be provided, we provide all that, and it's built in. It's meant to be as turnkey as possible for a brand to get started, because like it or not, the majority of them, at least at this stage, they're super excited about it. They want to get into crypto rewards because they see that most of them see the writing on the wall that it's the future of reward systems. But they're not super well versed when it comes to Web3. So it's kind of a good thing that it's basically spoon fed to them, and there's not a huge, knowledge hurdle for them to get started.
I could just imagine, it's like they probably was like, what did you say now? Yes. And even like customizing the smart contract, right? Like, that's good. You pre-built that template and you just pick 1, 2, 3, so that you made it so seamless for them to gamify their experience. There you go. It's all about customer and brand experience. Dan, what's your question?
Yeah, no, I think that's really smart.
For sure. So the brands who are the least hesitant, from what we found, they have a relatively younger consumer base. The sweet spot seems to be between the ages of like 20 to like 46 as a demographic. And especially if they have partnerships with celebrities who are already into Web3. Like, one of the brands that we just started working with, which has several different alcohol brands under them. They're a conglomerate. One of them works with a rapper, and that rapper was already heavily into NFTs and Web3, so that made things easier. So that's where it's the smoothest. Where there's some hesitancy certainly comes from brands who are more and more farther away from that kind of sweet spot or ideal customer profile, because they're worried about the risks related with cryptocurrency. They've seen negative press on the news about both cryptocurrency and NFTs. Their concern is, if this goes wrong, how will that affect the perception of their brand from their loyal existing customer base? And the farther away their customer base is from that sweet spot, which is progressively more and more into crypto and very tech savvy, between 20 and 46, the more they're going to second guess their decision to get into the space. I think eventually all of them will, regardless, because that's just, I think it's a trend which can't be reversed. But certainly at the early stages right now, that is a concern from some brands.
Yes, that makes sense. I could totally see the hesitancy when they hear the word crypto and thinking, there's a scam, or like you're saying, there's something illegal. So I'm glad that you're clearing that up, and you're seeing a lot of brands that are, they see the value in somebody within the 20, under 20s to 30s range. That's the future, like you said. So I'm curious, for us, we have a hotel brand. How could someone like us utilize your software?
For sure. So, the first question we would ask is, what platform or website backend is your hotel on, just to give us kind of a gauge of what the fastest way to integrate is. But besides that, we could set up the hotel brand with its own branded cryptocurrency relatively quickly. From the perspective of onboarding, you would choose what your token is called. You would choose maybe a logo. The tokenomics are already there. And then it's a question of, what do you want to incentivize? How do you want to leverage your branded cryptocurrency and the NFTs to engage your community? Maybe the simplest example is just kind of following the traditional Web2 model, where every time someone books a stay with your hotel brand, they earn some of the hotel's cryptocurrency as a result. And then maybe we could create a VIP club around your hotel's token and the NFTs, where if your guests earn a certain balance of the hotel's coin, they get more exclusive benefits as a result. And it could be benefits beyond just like discounts on a room, although that could be one as well. It could be things like an NFT that comes with a chance of getting a exclusive giveaway every month. And maybe the giveaway, because often from what we've seen, hotel brands have access to discounted or free events that guests quite enjoy, whether that's, meals at restaurants in the area or events that are going on, things of that nature. So we would come up with a program and determine what rewards the brand has available, and then seamlessly fit those into an NFT strategy that becomes the pool of rewards that entices the guests and will lead to them viewing that brand token as more and more valuable, especially as the community around it grows.
Wow. No, I love that. I think I haven't heard of a company that's doing it from this angle and so seamless that I think this could be the future. I've been reading a lot in the news lately that overall NFT sales in the current state that they're at have been in a steady decline in the US. I know other parts of the world this is totally different. Do you see current state not necessarily being the majority future, and something like what you're doing where it's more built into the brand? Do you see that being the future of NFTs?
I kind of do. I mean, think the bubble can always reverse, kind of as we've seen with cryptocurrency in the past. If there's something else, like all of a sudden a lot of buying pressure comes again in a couple of years. But even if that doesn't happen, maybe that's the future, where you don't see, single NFTs selling for like $60 million anymore. And that's less of the reason people are in the space. And you see higher volumes of sales, but lower volumes of aggregate sales revenue overall, because brands or creators are leveraging NFTs not to grab a ton of cash in a short period of time, but to engage their consumers in the long term. So that would fit with the trend. And maybe that's more and more of what we'll see as this becomes more popular.
And what are you seeing in terms of the companies that you're helping? Are you helping companies all around the world, or are you specifically helping them in one country? And the reason I ask is we just got back from the Philippines, and it's a totally different market for NFTs there than it is here. And it was really interesting hearing their perspective. So I'm curious on what you're seeing from a global perspective in terms of the brands that are coming to you, or are you only focused on a specific area right now?
I would say that most of our efforts are focused primarily on North America. I think just by nature of us being based here. That said, we have seen a lot of interest from other areas in the world as well. India is a great example. We would love to get more into areas of Southeast Asia because, like you said, I think there's many reasons why this type of technology is extraordinarily popular and can grow significantly faster as well. Yeah, I think there's definitely global appeal that can differ based on regulations and political climates in certain countries too. But that said, most of our engagements, at least for now, are in North America. But I think that's just because we're here and we're actually targeting North American brands because we're here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. Kate, over to you.
Yeah, so Andrew, there might be some, do you do not just brand? What about like a popular personality person, like maybe the number one actor of a certain country, and launching their reward program for NFT? Is that something that you guys can do?
Kate, I'm so sorry. For a split second, the audio went out. I think I understood your question. You were asking if there is an actor in another country and if they could use the reward currency like a brand. Is that what you were saying?
No, is that something that the app Cultus can do? If it doesn't have to be just a services or product, it could be a person that launching a reward program, maybe a popular actor in the US or some other countries. Is that something the app can do?
Yes, no, that's a great question. Absolutely, and actually, that's some of the appeal that we're seeing in India right now, and obviously they have an extraordinarily popular film industry with Bollywood. For an individual, it works in a very similar way where they launch their own branded currency. And in some sense, the rewards almost create more hype than a brand because it's first of all, that just falls into the nature of how fans, view celebrity and access to that celebrity, and therefore how exclusive that celebrity can make the rewards that the currency can be used to redeem. Like, a meet and greet with an A-list celebrity is extraordinarily valuable socially from the perspective of fans, and that can motivate a lot of behavior from the fans to earn the currency online, maybe by promoting this actor or by promoting a charitable cause that this actor or the celebrity is involved in, which looks great because it's a very positive thing and helps the brand equity of the celebrity, raises up their profile. Also can be leveraged by that celebrity to prove within their own career to more speculation on my part, but to studios and whatnot, that how financially valuable it is to have them involved in certain projects, because they can quantifiably prove just how engaged and rabid their fan base is, and obviously that will translate into box office sales. And then for the fans who just want to find any way to engage with this celebrity, this kind of allows them to feel like they're getting something very intimate, exclusive, and rare from the celebrity as a result. So maybe it's a meet and greet or a one-on-one conversation, or maybe it's unreleased photos from behind the scenes of a certain movie, or unreleased music. If we're talking about a musician, it could really be anything that's kind of gated and exclusive and unreleased by that celebrity, which the majority of them will have a great supply of, but is extraordinarily valuable from the fans' perspective. So it's definitely something that we believe can work quite well with like an individual person or persona as a brand as well, not just a company.
Wow. Well, that's awesome that you actually just solved my problem. I'm putting together this pitch for a famous actor in one country, and I'm trying to sell them this angle, but then this is your technology has been doing. So there you go. Dan, that answered my question.
Happy to help.
With a perfect timing. Now, Andrew, what is the entry level if a brand or me wanting to utilize your app, what does that look like when it comes to finances? Is that very expensive range? Because we all know everything it's a little bit pricey right now. Customizing your own virtual world in the metaverse, it costs up to hundreds of thousands to millions if you want it to be really look cool. What does that look like for brands right now utilizing Cultos?
Yeah, no, great question. Definitely compared to setting up your own, metaverse in the sandbox or Decentraland or whatever, way more cost effective. You can really, it's a very success-based model, and a brand can really decide how much they want to use to, fund their initial set of tokens or the campaigns that they want to launch. It could be as low as, a few $1,000s. It could be as high as they want it to be. Ultimately, the more that they put in, the more upfront incentive there is for their fans or customers to want to earn these tokens, because the upfront value is higher, right? And not just for the token itself, but for the perceived value of the rewards the tokens can be used for too. Like if a larger corporate may have access to better rewards from the perspective of their customers that they can make available compared to like a very small mom and pop e-commerce brand, right? I mean, it kind of depends on what the brand is, but generally speaking, that could be the case. But really, it's quite flexible. There's no massive upfront fees or recurring fees. It's whatever the brand wants to put in to launch their token is what they put in, and we'll take a percentage of that, but that will determine the upfront rewards that are available to their existing customers and fans. And then it just depends on how motivated those fans are to start wanting to do the thing to get the token from the brand. But certainly it's completely up to the brand, so it's as affordable as they want it to be.
Okay, so if I'm buying some NFT. No worries. Yeah. So after this question, we're gonna open it up to everyone if anyone has a question. Yeah. So Andrew, if I'm buying something for a brand NFT, and is that still safe? Can I resell that NFT the same thing like any other NFT? Is that correct? Or
yep, you can transfer those NFTs to an external wallet off of the custodian wallet. We will be adding the ability to just use an external wallet anyways, like MetaMask, in the future as soon as we can. But you can transfer it off. A great example of NFTs that we minted that aren't on Cultos right now anymore, at least, are the Greg Popovich collection that we launched for the San Antonio Spurs last week, and the auction lasts until Friday. And all those NFTs are currently on OpenSea, so get them while you can. But yeah, so to use that as an example, to answer your point, yes, you can transfer the NFTs off of Cultos, and you can transfer them wherever you want.
Yes, and then where can they find you, Andrew? Before we're gonna head out to the Q&A, what's the site to get it to utilize Cultos?
For sure. So they can shoot us an email. They can go to cultos.io and reach out to us there. They can follow us on Twitter. They can follow us on Telegram, or they could follow me on Twitter and message me directly there. So, through any of those different mediums, I'm happy to help anyone who's interested in getting started with Cultos. Cultos app, at Cultos app.
And Cultos is CULTOS, just so everyone knows.
Right.
All right, then we'll end the live. Just so you know, you guys, the